What's up? Back again, Break the News Podcast.
And BCG Podcast. I'm Ayana. And we have, obviously, big game went down last night. And I don't know. I'm a Warriors fan, so obviously I'm not the happy one, but he went for the Raptors.
Gone.
Yeah, he was going for the Raptors. And it looks like they might not be able to come back from this deficit. They are now down 3-1. We saw how crazy Kawhi Leonard, he had a monstrous game, dropped 36 points. He was unstoppable, I believe. And this is the first game I've watched of Kawhi Leonard. Unfortunately, this is the first game I've watched where I really feel like he looked like Kobe-like. Like he had that Kobe mentality throughout the whole game, was hitting jump shots. When they came back from halftime, what did he do? Hit three back-to-back three-pointers. And that third quarter, pretty much, the Warriors didn't do their regular third quarter run like they usually would. He was pretty much on their necks the whole time, and that's pretty much what got them in the game and got them the big lead. Not only did he play good, but Serge Ibaka had 20 points coming off the bench. I mean, it's so hard to beat a team like that when you
constantly having that bench player show up in the finals is what a team needs, and that's going to help you out a lot. That's showing with the Raptors with Ibaka. And last game, they have so many bench players constantly showing up, and nobody on Golden State right now is really showing up, especially your starters.
Yeah, I mean,
DeMarcus Cousins, he has not showed up in a Golden State uniform to me at all this year. He's had good games, but it's not the DeMarcus Cousins we saw prior to signing with Golden State. So,
I mean,
at first I wanted him to stay and sign again next year, but he's not showing me anything to give to the Warriors. He's not showing me much of a profit that he could be to the Warriors.
You have to look at it as he's also coming off an injury. So I don't think their like management or like coaching staff really expects too much out of him. They just might have thought that he would possibly be somebody that could bring something to the table. I believe that the biggest if we want to point fingers as to why the Warriors are looking the way they're looking right now, we're going to have to look at why Draymond Green comes into these big games and is only scoring 10 points or less. Or, like he had 17 points in the last game, but he honestly only had 11 points throughout the game, if you think about it. That can't happen.
Those fourth quarter points don't count.
Yeah, right.
You was already down by 20.
That can't happen when you're supposed to be the guy that's a part of a super team, and you want to go on the podium and say, hey, we're going to win the next game, and then we're going to win the next one, and then come back to Oracle celebration time. No, you need to come out and have your head focused on winning a game first. Saying that kind of stuff is only putting pressure on yourself. It's only putting pressure on your teammates who have to come in and play. You saw Clay come in and play pretty good. I believe he played well.
Points.
Yeah, 28 points.
That was really
Steph did not have his best shooting game. He didn't have his best shooting performance, but this is the NBA. And once again, players are going to miss shots. Kevin Durant won Finals MVP, but I honestly think he only won by like 2 or 3 points. And that was based off the fact that Curry had that bad 19-point game. He hasn't had a game like that. So I feel like even with him having these slumps, people have to realize when you're coming into this game, he's going to be the most channeled on player for the Warriors. They know that outside of Steph Curry, you only have Clay who's showing up. Draymond Green, they're allowing this man to shoot threes wide open while he's out in the, like they're not even worrying about Draymond. Yeah. Like he's just shooting.
We're gonna leave you out there.
Right. So Steph and Clay are really the only guys. They doubled Steph for most of the game. Even in the game where he scored 47 points, they were doubling him. They were trying their best to stop him. They just couldn't stop him. So I feel like it's not as much as he wasn't playing well. It's just he was missing shots. And as I said before, that's going to happen. I didn't see him just give up. I didn't see him do a whole lot as far as in the fourth quarter. But one thing I am going to say is defensive-wise, their whole team is just out of whack.
Yeah,
now. The defense is just terrible right now. It's no defense. They sit up there and they see guys hit wide-open shots. They don't go out and try to stop them, nothing, put up a hand.
They did start out pretty well. They did start because if you saw that game, no one scored a single point until about 2-3 minutes into the first quarter. It was about 9 minutes on the clock with still 0-0.
Yeah.
So they started out pretty strong, but everything just depleted.
Right. And
DeMarcus Cousins, he had 3 turnovers in the first 2 minutes.
Yep.
That was a really, really big problem too. Those 3 turnovers, it was very sloppy.
Kept them in the game, and that's one of the things that I get upset with Steve Kerr about, because when I'm watching a player commit that many turnovers back to back, there's no way I'm keeping them in the game.
Yeah, they kept them in. There was no problem at all.
This is an NBA Finals game. I don't care who a player is. If you're making back-to-back turnovers like that, and you're not
sloppy turnovers,
and you're not Curry, Clay, or Draymond, you will have to have a seat for a second. Because of that, they weren't, and there were so many instances where they had an opportunity to cut this game close, and they made a mistake. Serge Ibaka was dismantling Draymond in the inside. I don't know how many times I'm going to keep saying that, but he just made him look like he was non-existent on defense. I don't know I don't know what Draymond thinks in his mind, but if they lose this series, I really want him to go in the gym and just work on his craft. No talking to the media, no going back and forth talking about KD, because if they lose, KD's gonna go on somebody's podcast and speak, because that's just KD. It's gonna happen. And this is the off season, so we don't know what team he's gonna go to, but I do know it's gonna come eventually. And my thing is, just looking at this series, I don't know if the Warriors can come back from this deficit.
Yeah, so let's get to that. Who do you got coming out right now? Next game, game 5.
Okay, so I'm going to give my take on next game. Now, as much as I want to see the Warriors win, as much as I would, probably I wouldn't mind seeing the Raptors win, because as I said before, as long as it's not LeBron or OKC or any of those teams, or the Rockets, because I don't want them to beat the Warriors. But as long as it's the Raptors beating them, I mean, you know what? I'm okay with that, because they're a very humble team. They're very hungry, and they're coming out just playing lights out. You cannot hate on that. The only thing that I don't like on their side is Drake right now, because he's doing too much with the antics or whatever else. But everybody else, you know what?
Yeah, I think Toronto's going to take this one. At least they better take this one. The way the Golden State is playing right now, if they constantly keep playing like that, it's just an easy win ticket for Toronto. I definitely don't see it being like 2016 with OKC, with them blowing a 3-1 lead. That's definitely not going to happen. At least, that's not going to happen. There's no way in hell that's going to happen.
This team is too stacked for them to really for that to happen. But let me tell you something.
I mean, anybody can deplete in any moment.
When you still have 3-0 on your team, you can't count them out. When you still got 3-0 and you still got that other dude, Klay Thompson, you can't count them out.